Assalamualaikum Doctor. I would like to introduce our team members for this project. My name is AININ binti ZULKANAIN and I am the project manager. Next, our system designer Afiq Zahiruddin bin ABDULLAH TAIBI. Our system analyst AMIR bin MOHAMAD AZAN. Next, our programmer NURUL SHARMILA binti MOHAMAD FAIRUZ. And last but not least, our tester NURIN binti FAIZUL ZUKI. Assalamualaikum Doctor, my name is AININ binti ZULKANAIN, CB23015. My role is a project manager for MBKT system. MBKT is a comprehensive platform that provides many services to the public such as paying bills, applying for license and also submit and review complaint. The main objective for this portal is to allow the users to access the information, offline and online services that MBKT has been provided. MBKT objective is also to improve the education infrastructure in Kuala Terengganu and improve the management quality of Kuala Terengganu City Council.
Assalamualaikum, I am NURUL SHARMILA binti MOHAMAD FAIRUZ CB23032. I am the programmer for this MBKT web system. There is many info services that MBKT system provided such as e-licensing, e-payment, e-services statistic and complaint. Having e-payment allows citizens of Kuala Terengganu to pay bills and compounds electronically easily.
Functional requirements that I choose is report and review complaint. This functional allows the user to submit complaint about any issues or problem that they encounter, whether it is related to the website or the facilities in Kuala Terengganu. To submit complaint, user can fill the form by inserting their personal details, and they can also insert any image or documents that can help the authorities to understand their problem better. User can also see the progress of their complaint by reviewing the report. For non-functional requirements that related to the functional requirements that I choose is usability requirements, where the user can follow the example that has been given to reduce the numbers of errors that might occur.
Assalamualaikum Doctor. My name is Afiq Zahiruddin bin ABDULLAH TAIBI, CB23113, taking role as the system designer for MBKT web system. For the functional requirement, I chose is sistem pengurusan aduan, which is SISPA. Different from the normal complaint platform, here users are allowed to make complaints directly to Terengganu State Government. And the related non-functional requirement for SISPA is organizational requirement, where users need to authenticate their identity information using their ID number for them to be able to sign up for an account to use SISPA. Okay.
And good evening. My name is AMIR bin MOHAMAD AZAN, and I'm the system analyst. For functional requirement, I choose the MBKT AMS, which is the official corporate messaging system for City Hall users to use as a communication tool to converse with one another. The related non-functional requirements where user have to is the organizational requirement where user have to authenticate themselves with their user ID and their password.
For functional requirements, I choose OSC3 Plus Online, where user can choose their state and area they live. This system is used to build plan application, landscape applications, modify application, and permit application. For non-functional requirements, user need to log in by identifying their ID number and password for an authenticate.
Assalamualaikum. I'm IRDINA binti FAIZUL ZUKI, Metro ID CB23090, and my role is a tester. My functional requirement is e-bayaran, which cover a wide range of MBKT payment transaction. The range of payment transaction related to tax, e-payment, check and print license, QR code generator page for rental, and e-payment for quotation payment page. The user of the MBKT system, which are Kuala Terengganu citizen and visitor, can make the transaction using various of payment methods, including credit or debit card and online banking. User also can check the outstanding bills and payment history on the e-bayaran page. And for my non-functional requirement is the security requirement. When user want to do a payment transaction, they need to fill in their information. For example, online transfer which use FPS require user to fill in their username and password for their online banking to proceed with the transaction. My group chose MVC architecture pattern because MVC pattern make the development of the application faster, and this will allow each component to work independently without affecting each other. MVC pattern architecture provide a clear separation of concern, which is controller, view, and model, so maintenance become more straightforward and flexible to update new tools and features without causing conflict to each other. This will make the MBKT system more maintainable and in the long run. The MVC pattern is easy to update when it often needs to be updated and modified to satisfy the requirement, because it don't relate to each other and will affect another component. The developer also don't need to fully understand to work on the specific component. It will reduce the time to identify the problem that arise. So let me explain and give example for each component. For model, this layer is responsible for maintaining all aspects of data and accessibility. For example, updates and manage information about upcoming events, schedule, and announcement. For view, the layer provides user interface to interact with application, which is display information about upcoming event and schedule. For controller is acting as an interface between the view and model layer. For example, manage, question, and arrange data regarding announcement and schedule an event.
The risk that related to my role, which is project manager, is people risk, where the experienced staff will leave the project before it's finished. This problem can be solved by monitoring the feedback from the staff so that we can help to understand their problem. Next, we can also offer salary that reflect the level of commitment that they put, so that they know that we appreciate their hard work and dedication that they give. Project manager also might face requirement risk, where larger number of changes to requirements than expected. MBKT has a lot of stakeholders. They have different needs and expectations throughout the project lifecycle. So to reduce this risk is to communicate with them about the risk of changing the requirements too frequently can affect the overall project performance. They can also use prototyping techniques which can help to build a simple version of the project draft where the stakeholders can give early feedback and also highlight any part that they want to change.
Okay, as a system designer, two of the risks that most likely to happen from a system designer perspective is estimation risk and requirement risk. As for estimation risk, there is uncertain estimation of project requirements, meaning there were changes in requirements that need to be looked upon from the system designer. As for managing these strategies, system designer need to do proper analysis and make contingency planning. Also, system designer also need to have constant communication with the stakeholders. As for requirement risk, this usually happen when something change in the system. Also, in managing this risk, effective communication and involvement between all parties need to be happen. Okay. Also, system designer may use or utilize agile development method practice to make better system.
The risk that system analyst faces are outdated software components used in the system design using outdated integration protocols or may lack standard interfaces. This makes it difficult to integrate them with newer technologies application or service, hindering organization to adapt to business needs, and system maintenance cost increases due to scarcity of trained resource and lack of critical security updates and features, rendering them more vulnerable to cyber attacks. The way to manage these risks are developing a roadmap for modernizing the system to address the technology risks associated with outdated hardware, software, and architectures. System analysts also need to conduct comprehensive risk assessments, knowledge transfer, and training program to low-knowledge developers and continuous monitoring and security measures.
The risks that programmers will face are evolution of technology in software developing, such as the frameworks, programming, and designing tools. And also they will face product competition, which this will put innovation pressure on programmers to face pressure to create new features or improvising existing functionalities to remain competitive in the market. Hence, the strategies to overcome the risks are take some time to learn new systems, such as learning new programming language. Besides, keep up with latest trend. And also programmer needs to do regular market research and conduct regular testing and review.
As for the tester, the highly possible risks that may happen are tools risks and technology risks. For tools risks, it can affect the project schedule and highly possible can be delayed because testing of this tool can be challenging for the testing team. So software tools need to be updated and checked regularly to ensure that we don't miss any new feature and evaluate whether the testing tools still fulfill the team's need. Besides, the company can provide training for the testing team to improve their skill development. As the tools age, the testing team need tester with someone who has more experience and better skill development. For technology rates, the complexity of the system may give a hard time for the testing team because the structure of the technology will be harder to understand and it's hard to determine the potential point of failure. One of the strategies to manage technology risk is to use the right testing tools because it allows software tester to increase productivity. Also, tester need to regularly maintain the MBKT system, so tester need to have a deep understanding of the MBKT system and keep communicating to ensure the testing team stay in sync with the project changing needs. For instance, the MBKT system latest update is on December 18, 2023.
Okay, for the API that we have chose for the MBKT system is Microsoft Translator Text API and Data Government .my API. Both of these APIs is public APIs, which the programmer or the team of developer can easily access. Okay, for the first API, Microsoft Translator, it provides the real-time translation service. Although in MBKT website itself, there are features for the website to turn into fully, as example, Bahasa Malaysia. This API provides real time, which allow the user to use them easily. Okay, for the second, data.gov.my API, it provides information from the real database of Malaysia government itself. So, MBKT system can be improved in data information management. Okay, that's all for the API.
For user testing for MBKT system, we will conduct it in 3 different user tests for user testing. First one is to call the alpha testing, which is to identify incomplete functions or features in MBKT and fix it until MBKT has a stable version for the next test. To do so is by having MBKT users and developers team work together to assess every function and features through multiple trials and errors until all specifications are fulfilled. This is to identify all the faults in MBKT functions and fix it so MBKT has stable release for the next user testing. Then we head on to the second testing, which is the beta testing that allows MBKT users to experiment with the system to raise complaints in the functions or features they found to MBKT developers. This is by having a version of MBKT released online by the developers to turn users to assess all the functions and features in the system and send their criticism to the developers to be used as a feedback for the system. This testing allows users to toy with MBKT to find any features lacking and send feedback to the developers to make adjustments and fix to the system. Finally, we are at the final stage, which is the user acceptance testing. MBKT users determine the system is ready or not to the developers to deploy them fully to the client environment. This testing will be commenced after suffice feedbacks and patches to MBKT system for system continuity and performance reasons for developers to finally deploy the system fully. Testing is made after enough feedback and patches to MBKT to decide if MBKT portal is ready or not to be fully deployed to user environment.
Maintenance cost factor that I choose that related to my role as a project manager is team stability. Maintenance costs can be reduced when the same team of the MBKT development team are involved with them for some time. Team members that already work with team for a long time already have the skill and broad knowledge about the website. They can choose the best way how to maintain the MBKT website as they are already familiar with the design of the website and they have a broad knowledge about the code base. So the probability of them to make mistakes are reduced, which also reducing the maintenance cost.
Okay, as a system designer, the maintenance cost factor that I chose that I feel extremely relate to my role is program age and structure. Okay, this is because program age is can be defined is outdated libraries, discontinued technology, features, and classic coding practice. For MBKT, some of the early updates of the articles on the website itself were published in early 2000s. So we can consider MBKT system as a legacy system by today's standard. Okay, for older software may face compatibility issues with newer hardware or operating systems which have significantly advanced throughout the years. This can be related with the program structure. MBKT was an old system design. Throughout the years, there are barely any improvement on the design itself and also the features itself. Okay.
One of the maintenance cost factors as system analysts is the lack of modularity in system structure that makes it difficult to isolate and change specific portion of the system without affecting the other parts. A terrible structured code base in a system can make it hard for new functions to integrate to the system without risking affecting the whole architecture. Also, confusing logic and structures make the code complex higher, as it is difficult for a system analyst to make full evaluation and document user requirements. Difficulty in understanding the code base will lead to inaccurate documentation of the changed MBKT system, and this results in extending the maintenance costs to decipher complex codes before making change in code in implementation phase.
One of the factors that affect the maintenance cost factor is contractual responsibility. As an example, changing staff of indifferent in terms of skills and experience. Since MBKT system was developed by a generation of programmers in early years of internet advancement, they probably did not have major future planning, whether regarding the evolving technology. In addition, developing high-quality code can reduce the time spent on debugging and fixing issues, which will make the MBKT system organization more satisfied with performance and having better experience.
My maintenance cost factor for testing is tough skill. As you can see, the MBKT system can be categorized as a legacy system. The tools used for the system may be the older version, which can lead to a lot of problems related to performance issue. The MBKT system will require experienced staff in the testing team because they are more competent. In addition, experienced staff have a better understanding of the industry and user expectation. Also, they can identify critical areas to focus on and allocate resources efficiently, which leads to accurate and systematic testing. Experienced staff also tend to have a lot of connection and are easier to adapt when the system has changed in project requirement. Also, they demand a higher salary from the company, but it will give a lot of benefits in the long term. They demand a higher salary because of their experience, so the company recognize their value and are willing to pay higher salary for them to make sure to deliver a high quality software. So company can reduce cost because they don't need to spend more money on maintenance.